When I was a kid in Italy, I, Sal Mallimo, wanted to be a famous poet. It didn't work out that way, but that's okay. My life has been good, and I wrote this book, Piccolo Santino. I started it in second grade before my life in America. One of my last memories of the old country was my mother and grandmother in the sunset under an oak tree. The orange light was almost blinding. The colors just kept on pouring from the sky. How strong these women are, I thought. It was magic. That magic stays with me to this day. This is my story, the story of Piccolo Santino. Times were tough in Calabria with my dad in America earning money while we waited for him to send for us. During the 2-year wait, my hopes of poetic fame faded. After school, I was apprenticed to a carpenter in town. I remember having to make a baby coffin. We worked late into the night because we had to. It was a chilling experience. But soon enough, we were sailing out of Naples, headed to America, the land of opportunity. I made a solemn vow then to discard my old life. I was determined to learn English and learn how to become an American. But new ways take time to sink in. Who'd think I could be kicked off my school bus just for singing in Italian to a girl I liked? I really liked school in America, but my father wanted me to quit and go to work. I rebelled. I wanted an education more than anything. So I enrolled in a correspondence course with an art school when I was 13. I worked after school using my carpentry skills to pay for it. I kept at it, worked hard, and won scholarships in high school to go to the School of Visual Arts Film School in New York City. At SVA, I got into animation and produced 2 award-winning animated films there. And boy, was that great. It was a good time. I graduated in 1970 and began animating War with Myself, a 12-minute animated film. And wouldn't you know, 50 years later, my musician son scored the film. I got a big break in 1972 at JC Productions, a live-action and animation studio. I had total freedom there in the animation department. We took it to the top, and that felt great. In 1982, I started my own animation company, Mimondo Productions. I ran it till 2005. That's when the digital age really hit, and my beloved wife died. It was rough going, a lot of stress, so I closed the shop down. I found comfort in writing, right where I began as a little boy. I wrote A Walk in Time, poetry from real life, and illustrated a book of poetry. I continued working on Piccolo Santino and published it in 2019. It was definitely time for me to tell that story, about how my childhood in Italy made me the man I'd become. I took another look at my animated films after that. I realized how my teen years affected me too. I put together a trilogy of my work and entered war with myself in various film festivals. But I and Piccolo Santino had a lot more to say. How about from book to miniseries? I'm working on that now. So far, I've entered 3 scripts in film festivals all over the world. I think back to 1958 when we docked at Pier 84 in Manhattan on the Julia Jersey ship. That was on the 4th of July, 1958, actually. Not too long after World War II had ended. We were amongst the fortunate ones, thanks to the Family Refugee Act of 1953 and my dad. I hadn't seen my dad in 2 years, an eternity for an 8-year-old kid. When I saw him on the dock, I wondered if this new man who looked so different now was actually an imposter. During the drive home, I decided I'll give this new guy a chance. After all, he did bring us to America.
A Little Boy's Memoirs, when childhood lasted only to the 5th grade.